Hey everyone, it is Dani and welcome to this update video. I hope that you're all doing really wonderful this morning, and so I'm here with what to expect as we're going to be progressing throughout today, as well as what is on the horizon, because as we're going to be heading into this weekend, there is a likelihood that another tropical wave will be inducing a lot of rainfall across some sections of the Caribbean. So I'll be going into that as well, and I'll also briefly go on over into Mexico, where there are watches and warnings in place. And so before I go into details, please do subscribe if you haven't yet done so, and tap the bell so that you never miss an important update. Okay, and so we're going to be starting out by zooming into some areas here, but as we look at the general view here of the North Atlantic, we can see that there is quite a bit of activity noted in some areas. There we have all that shower and thunderstorm activity, and most of that was affecting the majority of the Lesser Antilles lately, but it has been drifting northward, so we find that the southernmost islands are sort of in the clear right now. However, there is that other tropical wave that is going to be making its way in this weekend and bringing lots of rainfall. And then behind it, off the coast of Africa, is another wave that has recently emerged. So let's zoom into some areas, and then we're going to be taking a look at the rainfall to expect. So we're starting out with parts of the Eastern Caribbean and the main development region as well. So there we see all of that shower and thunderstorm activity in association with that other tropical wave. And as I said, as we head into this weekend, it is going to be moving in and enhancing the rainfall across the area. And in doing so, there might be some periods of extensive heavy rain. And especially with the fact that there has already been so much rainfall in the area, that is going to increase the risk of that flooding taking place. And so if you're in Trinidad, Tobago, Grenada, the Grenadines, St. Vincent, maybe even going up to Barbados, it is likely that you will be feeling impacts as a result of this wave as we head into around Saturday. And as of right now, though, there isn't much happening in the area, as I said. We see that extensive area of cloud cover going from the Grenadines all the way up into the Leeward Islands. But going closer to Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, lots of shower and thunderstorm activity, some well-needed rainfall, and a break in all of that heat and all that dryness that you guys have been experiencing. So that is some really good news. This rainfall has been long awaited, and thankfully it has been persistent in the area since last evening, but hopefully not so persistent to result in any sort of flooding anywhere. But as we head further to the west, going to Cuba, Jamaica, Hispaniola, we're not seeing where there is much happening. Similar story for the Bahamas, and the ABC Islands are in the clear and will be in the clear, even with that other tropical wave expected to approach this weekend. So let's drift a bit more to the west, and going over into Central America, there is some activity seen across some areas, some shower and thunderstorm activity that might have dissipated by the time this video is posted, but there is some activity over there, but for the most part, nothing too major. However, as we head to the afternoon hours, we're going to be seeing the development of a lot more showers and thunderstorms thanks to the heating throughout the day, and that is going to be helping to result in more instability. So that is what helps the development of showers and thunderstorms. And so now let's go ahead and take a look at what the GFS and Euro have to expect in terms of all that rainfall across the region. And so as the map becomes more colorful, the rainfall expected is higher. Now this is the total accumulated precipitation for the next 72 hours or 3 days, and there we have the forecast time, so you can use that to guide you as we head throughout this time period here. So starting out with GFS, and there we see a lot of that rainfall expected for the northeastern Caribbean. Again, there's that persistent shower and thunderstorm activity there, but as we head throughout today, there's likely going to be the development of those showers and thunderstorms across Hispaniola, Jamaica, even going to Cuba, and the southernmost part of Florida, even for the Bahamas, and over into Central America and northern South America as well. And then as we're going to be heading into this weekend, we see that the rainfall is just increasing for most of these areas here. And take a look at that area extended into the Windward Islands. That is the rainfall expected from that tropical wave that will be approaching. And as I said, it could trigger some flooding across some areas. Going on to the Euro, we can see here that it is a similar story. many areas expected to receive that increase in rainfall activity. And there we have it extended into the Windward Islands. So that is what the Bureau is anticipating here. So again, there is going to be that increased rainfall, and there is likely that risk of flooding. And so guys, please take all necessary precautions and stay safe. Do not attempt to cross flooded roadways or bridges, and do not take any unnecessary risks. And so now we want to go ahead and move on over into the Eastern Pacific, and here we can see Hurricane Adrian, as well as another depression, the second of the season behind Adrian. Now that is likely going to be Tropical Storm Beatrice today, and so it has prompted watches and warnings for some parts of Mexico. So let's go on to the cone forecast from the National Hurricane Center, and we can see here that the depression has winds of course 35 miles per hour, and it is accelerating toward the northwest at 14 miles per hour, so not moving very slowly. However, for parts of the Pacific coast of Mexico, southwestern Mexico, here we can see that there is a tropical storm warning as well as a watch. And so a tropical storm warning that is highlighted in blue, and so that is in effect for Punta Maldonado to Punta San Telmo, so those areas along the Pacific coast of Mexico. And then that tropical storm watch is highlighted in yellow, and that is in effect for north of Punta San Telmo to Playa Perula. So those areas are all likely going to be feeling tropical storm conditions, and those areas that are under a warning are likely to feel such conditions within the next 36 hours, while for the watch, the next 48 hours or 2 days from now. And so with that, there's going to be lots of flooding, those strong winds, and even that coastal inundation as a result of the winds of the cyclone pushing the waters on shore. That is the storm surge. So that is also likely for some areas. Might not be anything too major, but nevertheless, it could result in some coastal damage. And then by Saturday, it is expected to intensify into a hurricane, but won't be very strong, and will be encountering some more unfavorable conditions that should help it to downgrade back to a tropical storm just to the south of the southern tip of the Baja California Peninsula, and eventually it will weaken to a depression and post-tropical cyclone thereafter. So that is what is expected of this system here. As for Adrian, it is fighting some unfavorable conditions, so a lot of intensification is unlikely of this, and it should just struggle for the next couple of days and eventually weaken and dissipate. Not a threat to land out there. And so guys, that is what is going on right now, and I hope that you found this video to be quite informative. But if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I will respond as best and as soon as I can. And remember to always be weatherwise.